All righty, we are live. Hello, 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 family. I
Hello.
hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody is having an amazing night of sleep. I know you guys are still asleep in the state, but you guys will wake up and you guys are tuned in. And hopefully, these shows are giving you some light as far as the move abroad, how it is, the mindset, the feelings that come up, even the possibility of us thinking, God, maybe I didn't hear you, or maybe, So as you saw the topic, let's see the topic is coming to the grips that we will never be moving back to America. And I am there. I'm at that point where I'm like, nope, I already know, not going back. Yes, I have kids there. Yes, I have family there. Yes, I have a mom there. Yes, I have relatives, cousins. I have the same thing that you have there. But guess what? I'm not going back, and I'm going to tell you why. But I also want to introduce my girlfriend, Lorraine. She's going to come on also, and she's going to introduce herself, and she's going to introduce her foundations and her amazing self. And we're going to talk. We're going to talk. This is going to be a real conversation, and it's going to be
Mhm.
honest. It's going to be some real talk, and it's going to be some things where you may be like, oh my God, what's going on? But that's okay, because we're being real and we're being truthful, and we are putting the heart out there so you can see the real us. So, Lorraine, let's give you a chance to introduce yourself and
Yeah.
introduce your foundation, and let's talk about it. Let's be real. Let's talk about it. I give you the floor.
Yes. My name is Lorraine, and my ministry is gracefulguidanceministries.com. What I do is I support families who have children with special needs and also women in transition, in life's transitions, such as recovery from drugs and alcohol.
All right. Do you want to give them your website?
Oh, I think it's right there on the gracefulguidanceministries.com. It's right there
Yeah.
on my, yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Good job. Good job. Thank you
Yeah.
for that. Well, like
Yes.
we were saying, the topic was for me coming to grips that we will never be going back to America. That right there is that's a lot, right, within itself.
Mhm.
Because when I said it, when I came up with it, I was like, oh my God, I won't ever be going back. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I feel danger. I feel that things aren't going to get any better. I feel that and I'm speaking for me, I feel that I had to come here and I had to get my mindset right and on purpose, to the point where I wasn't thinking about back there. I wasn't thinking about going back. I wasn't thinking about moving back. I wasn't thinking about family. Yes, I have family. Yes, I love my family. But guess what? I love my life. I love my peace. I love my safety. I love what the Most High told me. And I heard him tell me to move. And for me, that meant that I'm thinking about Lot's wife, and I'm thinking about not turning back, not looking back, because I know that in the biblical days in the Bible, when she looked back, she turned into a pillar of salt. I don't believe that, for me, looking back for me is not an option, because I don't want to turn into a pillar of salt. And I don't want to get out of order and go back, and then I'm in trouble. Then things are getting worse now because I am out of order, out of where the alignment, out of where he put me, because I'm so busy looking back at the past and looking back at home and looking back at stuff that I should leave in the past. And if he moves me forward, then for me, I have to keep my eyes looking forward. I have to, on purpose, put my mindset to the point where I can't go back. That's not an option for me. It took a lot for me to get here. And I was talking to people while I was in the States. I was preaching, I was talking some more, and I was getting shut down, and I was getting all kind of stuff, all kind of things, negative reactions, negative talking, negative comments, negative this, that, and the other. But guess what? I said to myself, if this is what the Most High wants me to do, I'm going to be obedient, and everything else will fall in line. Whether my children come, whether people that I'm related to, my aunts, uncles, cousins, mom, if they come, good. If they don't, I have to be okay with that, because every grown person in my family, I have grown children. I don't have babies. I have people that are married. My daughter's married, had a husband and some children. And then I have another daughter who travels all over, and she's doing her life. I cannot be in charge of grown folk. I cannot make decisions for grown people. I can only tell them, share what I'm thinking. Willie, thank you for joining us. Thank you. I can only keep my focus on Cassie and do what I was commanded and what I was hearing for me to do. I cannot risk me going back. I don't want to risk my life being out of order, because I know that if I turn back and do something for my life, if he's telling me to move forward and he tell me to go right, I go left, I'm gonna get in trouble. And I have had enough in my life to know that I'm not doing that. We have to understand, what is it going to cost for me to go back? What would it cost? It could cost your life. It could cost you a whole lot. It could cost a lot. But sometimes we have to move forward knowing that if he sent you here, that by you coming, you are obedient, to trust that things will line up, to trust that children will come, husbands will come, cousins will come, moms will come, and anybody else will come. My thing is, I put in power of attorney to people to take care of stuff back there for me. I put things in place so I wouldn't have to come back. And I'm like, no, I cannot even put my mindset in that mindset of wanting to go back. I don't even think about going back. I have purposely, on purpose, thought about, I don't even want to think about there. Sometimes I get to the point where I don't even want to talk about America. I don't even want to talk, because it's so much pain to America, so much injustice. And when I saw this Carmelo Anthony, when I saw the little child, the little Cypress, what happened to him, that hurt me so bad, and I had so much anxiety from that. That's what I left. I left from that. I sometimes don't even want to talk about America. I don't even want to think about it, because there's so much injustice, and I don't want anxiety. I don't want to bring that here. I am here to forget that. I am here to move forward and go and do and what he's called me to do here. And that means sometimes getting our mind set in the right direction for me. It means that I have to remember why I'm here, to remember that he brought me here, to remember that he told me to come, to remember that no matter what it looks like, that he's going to take care of it. He's going to take care of my children. He's going to take care of my mom. He's going to take care of my cousins. He's going to take care of my family members. He's going to do it because of my obedience. And I do believe we as women who have husbands, and I'm just speaking, I believe that if one hears and the other doesn't hear, it's up to you to do what's best for you and your family. If it's best for you women to do what you need to do, I know our husbands say, oh, you got to be submissive and all this other stuff. But if you're not hearing, and I'm hearing, something's wrong anyway. Something is out of order. My thing is, you do what the Most High told you to do. And I do believe that a lot of things will fall into place for you if you're obedient to do what he told you to do. Now, if you hear to move and you don't move and things go awry and get all out of order, then you're going to be blaming yourself. Then you're going to be blaming the other person. Then you're going to be living in disobedience. And when you're living in disobedience, anything and everything happens. Anything and everything happens. And we don't understand. Then stuff starts falling apart, and you looking like, well, God, why is this happening? Why am I sick? Why am I going through this? Why is my family this? Why is my marriage? You got a lot of why and questions in, because you're out of order and not where he commanded you to go. Because if he told you to go, time is of an essence. And sometimes we'll sit there and we'll say, okay, I'm gonna leave in next year, 2027. That's not what he told you. He told you, if he tells you 2026, it's not, well, we're gonna do it in 2027, or we may do it in 2028. Time is of an essence. Don't miss the timing, because I believe that this door is only going to remain open for a certain amount of time. And I do believe that he's going to give the remnant people that are not here yet an opportunity to get here. You're going to have one more opportunity. And if you don't take that opportunity, I do believe that that is going to be your very last opportunity, because I know that there are people that want to come. They can't come because of finances. They can't come because of children. They can't come because of this, that, and the other. But I do believe that you are going to have one more opportunity to get out. And if you don't take that opportunity, it's not going to be good for you. That's my thinking. But I know everybody has different, opinions, which is fine, because this is my opinion. But I'm gonna give you the floor, Miss Lorraine, and you can help us to understand, or tell us, or talk to us about your situation, or how do you feel about that question? What do you think about that question? Because I know everybody's different, so we think different things, different ways. Nobody is wrong or right. It's your personal, what you personally believe, and what I personally believe is what I just said. So I'm gonna give you the floor so you can share with us how you feel about this question.
Yeah,
You're
no,
amazing.
thank you for, yeah, no, thank you for sharing your lens because from my perspective, I feel that there are several things that are true right now.
Mhm,
Several things that are true at once. And I do feel that there are so many factors in so much of this. I don't feel like it's black and white.
mhm.
Um, it's complex, which I'm so thankful I'm not God and He is the Most High.
Yeah.
He's got all the complexities and all, He's got the plan that some of us just simply don't understand. We can get the instructions for ourselves that He's specifically given to us, and that's about all we can do right now because the rest is up to Him.
Mhm,
Um, and I do think that the door is still open. I do. I think His grace is still there. And I think it's a time to really be listening in and zeroing in on what those time frames might be because others told me to leave sooner than what He had told me. And if I had done that, I would have left all kinds of out of order. So
mhm,
I knew He didn't tell me to leave any sooner than what I was told. And in fact, originally, I was going to be leaving a little later, but it just worked out for me to leave a little earlier.
okay.
And so I didn't feel this urgency in the sense of like I need to get out right now and oh my gosh, I just wasn't in any panic because that's not how He talks to me.
Mhm,
So I know for me when there's a panic or there's something going crazy, I need to slow down and really see if it's His voice or if I'm just in my emotions. And
mhm,
so, I did tie up a lot of loose ends and I did have the mindset of something shifting here. For me personally, where He brought me here to Mauritius, um, I didn't really have a plan, so to speak, in the sense that, well, He's calling people out. I'm not totally sure what this is going to look like because I'm not Him and He hasn't revealed every piece of the puzzle yet.
mhm,
Um, but I knew that I was supposed to leave when I was supposed to leave. However, for me personally, He never spoke to me saying that Mauritius was going to be my permanent place. He never told me that I needed to take up residence here. So, and I'm also not of retirement, and I also do have children. So I do have one that's still in the nest with me, and there's layers to that. I do have special needs children that I have to think about, and some other things that aren't totally tied up yet. So I know that everyone who's come here specifically to Mauritius has different scenarios and in different seasons and in different reasons. And some don't have any ties at all to the States.
mhm.
And so America has a lot going on right now, a lot of unpredictability and for all intents purposes, there's a lot of lack of safety.
Mhm,
But within that same breath, I know that the Father is, there are people there I know who are still leaving and who are being obedient, but they have to follow the time frame that the Father told them. And I'm not worried about that. Like I don't feel like, oh, they better get out right now because something's going to happen. And I'm thinking, well, no, if the Lord didn't tell them that, then they need to trust that.
mhm,
So, because He knows what's coming down the pike and when it's going to come. So, and He's a good Father, and
mhm,
He's not going to forsake any of us, regardless. And I am in agreement with the Lot's wife, but I also know that He is, with me in this point that I'm not in a place where I'm completely sold. In other words, I know He said what He said, and I hear
mhm,
Him, and I'm being obedient to that, but I don't have anchor. And so what I'm anchored in is Him.
mhm,
So if He says, well, you moved to Mauritius, now I want you to move here, then I'm going to do it. And wait for Him to bring the provision or whatever the doors are that He wants to do. It is a process, but I know you've been here a little longer than myself and had more time to acclimate too. So
yeah,
the acclimation of this is extremely difficult. I think
yeah,
depending on your sensitivity level, depending on your personality, depending
yeah,
on a lot of things. For
yeah,
me, this has not been, I did not come here saying, oh, yes, I'm here. I did not do that. I didn't even have the mindset of that. I came here cautiously optimistic.
okay, okay,
I didn't come with this, like, yes, I get to live on an island. I just was like, okay, this is where the Lord told me to go. This is what I'm doing. And um, I guess I'll see what this is like. And I still am in that mindset. I love the beaches here. I think they're very relaxing. But for me at this stage in the game, that's about it for me.
Okay.
Other than, other than like, other than, there has been time for me since I've gotten here, time of rest, much needed rest from the
Mhm.
constant, you know, uh, hamster wheel that
Mhm.
unfortunately is where America's at with a lot of people. Not everybody. I know some people who are not on that hamster wheel and doing just fine. But for the majority of Americans, it's, you know, we're not even at a place with some people where we're one paycheck away. It's we're choosing to pay our light bills or eat or whatever. Um, I was pretty exhausted when I was already in a place of exhaustion when the father asked me to leave.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't know fully if he was saying forever for a time. My mindset was like, I'm pretty sure I'm not going back, but I'm still not sold on that. And I mean this, that
Mhm.
I'm willing to move wherever he says to for a time, but to rebuild in America, no, no.
Mhm.
I don't even think you can rebuild. I
Mm.
don't know. I don't. I don't know. That's a question. And there's people, like I said, that I know who are doing just fine, and have not heard that call yet. Will they hear that call? They might. They might. And so I know, like I said, that the Lord's a good father, and He knows how to talk to His children, each and every one, with wherever they're at. And so I just have to trust that too. And I'm trying to be mindful not to be judgmental of other people or critical of their situations. Um,
Yes.
and especially, having gone through things myself, because I was judged coming here. I did have
Mhm.
critics, like you were saying, and it wasn't an easy move. And I understood why they felt the way they felt, but, you know, we have to do what we need to do. Um, this transition, especially having a child with me, um, you know, there's been some trade-offs with it. So I'll give an example. One of the things about, coming to grips with, you know, I don't have to, since we've been here, I don't have to worry about him looking at all these inappropriate girls being dressed, half
Mhm.
dressed. That is a
Mhm.
constant in America. And it doesn't
Mhm.
matter what tribe you're from, all the
Yeah.
girls are wearing inappropriate clothing. I was
Yes.
tired. I mean, I'm just being real. I was tired of seeing butt cheeks. I was,
Yeah.
or cleavage or whatever. And it's so unnecessary. And
Yeah.
you're trying to raise a son to have a pure mindset and to respect women when
Mhm.
these women have no self-respect
Yeah.
and they're not dressing modestly. And so here on Mauritius, I haven't had to worry about that too much. There's been a few little things on the beach, but not much, not
Yeah, but
much
that's
in
not by
general.
the Mauritians. That's by some other people that's bringing it here.
Yeah,
Okay.
with
About
that,
the.
I have seen a couple Mauritians, but
Oh,
they run
really?
with a certain type of crowd.
Okay.
It's specific.
Okay.
But
Okay. I
in
got you.
general,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but in general, I feel that, that's just not what they do. It's just not culturally, that's just not what they do. So, so that's been very refreshing, and just, the slower life, and not having to rush. I'm very, very used to having a full schedule, deadlines, time frames. That's been
Man.
a little unnerving for me, in fact. So,
Big difference. Big difference now.
um, but I've also been, uh, my actual baby sister, not another sister in Christ, but my actual little sister sent me some encouragement, just to trust this process and to not resist where we're at right now and just trust whatever comes my way. And she feels completely like I need to come home,
Oh,
but
wow.
she's also in support of, you've got to do what the Lord told you to do. So she understands that aspect of it. Um, so um, I lost my train of thought. But, I've had some things that I've had to think of with my son, and also with some of my situations back home. So for me, I still have one foot in, one foot out in this sense. Not that if I were to go back, it would not be to rebuild, it would be to help get them out So like a time. And so
Okay.
that is a specific instruction that I would not tell anybody else to do,
Mhm.
because you have to know for you if that's what your situation is. And I know that there are people who have been here who have had to go back home because they had to. And they want to come back and they're trying to come back. They've actually texted me and said those things.
Mhm.
So I get it and I understand it. So that's why I said I'm trying to be very mindful of what the Father is doing and make sure that I'm not putting my mouth on someone else's situation when
Yeah,
he's, it's like he's sitting here going, I got this, you know that, right? I
exactly.
have
And
each
that's
and
the
every
key right
single one of
there.
my children under
Yes,
control.
yes. And I think we
And
forget that though. I do. I think we forget that. I'm sorry, my battery. I think we kind of forget that though, that we have to trust him if we're moving this far and we moved this far trusting him. We got to continue trusting him to know that he's got this. He sees
yeah,
stuff like you
yeah,
said that we don't see. We have to, for me, and I'm always talking about my situation. I'm not speaking of anybody else's situation because I
yeah, yeah,
cannot speak on anybody. I'm
understood.
talking about Kathy's situation. I literally had to get to the place where I'm not comparing this place to America. I'm not
Hmm.
comparing. I am coming over here, fresh mind, clear mind, got
Yeah,
empty mind, not thinking about America because I know the anxiety that I had when I was living in America. I'm telling you,
yeah,
my body has proven to me that we have an issue. Houston, we got a problem. And for
yes,
me,
yes,
it was
yes,
literally life or death for me, health wise. I
yes,
did
yes.
want to continue allowing my body to tell me, hey, we got to do something. And I
Hmm.
not do anything.
Hmm.
This for me was very what I needed to do for Cassie. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
when I came to heal. I came to get myself together. I came to get my mind together. I came to start fresh and start new. And I'm not even going to say that if I didn't have retirement, would I have left? I'm just saying,
yeah,
would I
yeah,
have had the
yeah.
nerves? Maybe not. I would have had to
Hmm.
sell some stuff
Hmm.
to be able to do it, but I would have been obedient. If I had a house that I could have sold, I would have sold that house instantly and I would have
Yeah,
been gone. So
yeah.
that would have saved me there because I would have sold that house, then I would be living here cheaper and I would have had
Hmm.
me a business plan and I would have used that house money that I sold. I would have used that to live on to get my business together. If you're an entrepreneur, but I
Yes,
would have been able
yes.
to either get me an online job or remote job. And that's what I would have taken that year to do after I would have moved here. I would have, or maybe
Right.
before I moved, I would have got me a remote job. Not
Yes.
didn't even need to be making a whole bunch of money, tutoring, anything that I could have done. Maybe
Yeah.
working for a school online because I was a recruiter, so I could have went to another university and probably worked online, and they would have never known the difference. But I would have been able to work online. I'm just saying it would have been things that I would have set up so that I
Yeah.
would have been able to move, especially if I was here. The father say, "I need you to come from a mom."
Yeah. Yeah.
That right
Yeah.
there, yes, I would have put things in place. Even if I was not retirement age, I would have still put things in place that would have
Mhm.
helped me to be able
Mhm.
to eat here. But knowing
Yes.
that I would have needed
Yes.
a lot of money to eat here, to live here, it doesn't take a whole lot. Especially if I would have had a house to sell, I would have taken that house and sold it
Yeah.
and lived on that house for at least a year. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? To be able to
Which
get
is
myself
ideal.
together.
That's a
Yeah,
great scenario. If you are in
yeah,
that situation, and you really feel led to do that,
yeah,
yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Um, and
exactly.
that's the other piece too, it is cheaper to live here for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Hands
yeah.
down. I don't know that my grocery bill's been any different.
Yeah, that's the trade-off.
My
But you
grocery
have
bill, I don't
water.
know. I don't know about that one. But certainly, internet and electricity and my rent for sure. And I came here with a simpler mindset as well, that I was going to live more simply, and we do live more simply. Um, I don't have a lot of
And even as
things
far as your
anymore.
grocery bill, a pot of spaghetti, a pot of beans. I'm just saying we're gonna stretch some things out because I know how
Yeah,
boys. I'm just saying we're gonna eat on this pot of spaghetti for a couple of days,
yeah, yeah.
because we gotta, stretch. Because this, people think, oh my God, living in Africa is cheaper, and it's not. A lot of times you move into
No,
different
it's
places,
not.
it's
Yeah,
not
yeah. And
cheaper. Yeah,
diet wise, you got to be careful about, this, diet. Like I don't eat pasta. So,
yes,
we just, as
yes,
a family, we just simply don't eat like that. And even though it's cheaper, but it is in our cupboard just in case.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's in the cupboard, but I got a whole lot of other stuff in the cupboard too, like that son, and I just we gonna just have to do what we have to do. Beans,
Yeah.
put the beans in that cupboard, and
Yeah.
do a pot of beans. And I'm just saying, this is stuff that I do. Lots of salads,
Yeah.
just
Lots of
stuff that I
salads and
do,
fruit.
so and then the other day I was saying, you know what, I gotta team up on my water. I gotta get my water up to
Yeah.
par and give me canned goods, because I do believe that I'm supposed to be prepping here too. I left a
Yeah.
lot of stuff in the States. So I'm like, okay, I need to start prepping here the same way I prepped there. As far as
Yeah.
water, canned goods, I'm still doing the same thing that I was doing there. I'm doing it here too, because I'm not saying
Yes.
that what you guys experience in America, we're not going to experience. It's just not going to be as
No.
bad.
No.
I think that America's going to get the blunt of it, and other places around, it's going to touch you, but it's not going to
I
be as
think.
bad as when it was in America.
Yeah, yeah, because America's very naughty, but there's a few other naughty ones lying around too that I feel like
Exactly.
any country that has, how do I want to say it, sold out on some level,
Yeah. Mhm.
the father's going to take his hand off of them.
Absolutely. I do believe that. And there's a scripture that said that.
And like I said, I don't, and I don't want to say, I don't want to give the false illusion that because I've moved to Mauritius that all of a sudden I'm safe. I don't feel that way. And one of the things that drove that point home to me was the other day I was very, very disappointed when I saw a certain parade happening in Port Louis.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just went, really? I mean,
Yeah.
I thought I left that. Like, I really,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
very disappointed to see
Yeah.
that. Just thought,
Yeah.
okay, you guys are playing games. So now
That's right. Yeah.
you, I mean, the father's hand was already, you were already playing with,
Yeah.
worshiping other gods, but now we're doing things pridefully in the open and
Yeah.
thinking it's cute.
Yes.
So
And it's
that's when
not.
it starts to get,
Yeah.
I was very heartbroken to see that. It
And,
really,
and you know what? I really
it
thought
did
that was
something to me.
illegal.
It really did something to me in my spirit. I
Really, I
really,
thought that was illegal. That's what I thought, but I guess not. If you hold a whole parade, I guess But I'm gonna just say, I do believe that this is not the final ground. I do believe that he's
yeah,
going
yeah,
to bring us all together into one big location. So I think this is
mhm.
just a stopping ground for a minute. But I do
Yeah,
believe he's going to
yes,
bring
yes,
all of us into one area
yes,
and deal
yes,
with us here, and to be able to
yes,
take care of some other things. And I do believe that that's what we're seeing now when everybody is going back to their certain locations. I do believe that is
yeah,
something that's happening now, you know.
yes, yes, yes,
But that was
yes, yeah,
prophesied that everybody was going to go back to their original location, and I
yes,
do believe that's
yes,
what's happening now. And even for Black people in America who say, "Oh, America's my home," I feel very sorry because I hate to tell you that it's not. And if you have DNA of African DNA, then that is not your home. And sometimes you might even need to check your DNA to see where it is you really came from, so that'll
yeah,
help you to understand
yes,
that
yes,
America's
yes,
not it. That is not your originality.
yeah,
Now I know
yeah,
these people were there first, okay, but that's few. It was more people that came that was dumped over there than was
mhm,
born over there. But I do believe that a lot of us that look like me is from the Africa and some other places. But I
yes,
do believe
yes,
that the confusion is there, and that's what happens when you have a group of people that really don't know their history. They're
yeah,
not being taught their history, and cycles will repeat themselves if you don't know your history. So this is why the Father told us to never to forget, to always
yes,
teach our babies, about our
yes,
history. And we
yes,
forgot, we allow other people to educate them, and those other
yeah,
people don't care to tell your child and build your child up
yes,
to help
yeah,
your child understand that you are greatness, you were kings and you were queens before you were slaves. Okay,
yeah,
that's not something that's being taught to your child. So it is up to us
right,
to educate our own children, and that's why if you're going to be in America, I do believe that this is the time that you should come from among, be separate and learn not. Separation is key. I do believe that, so that you can
yeah,
educate your own
yeah,
children, and
yes,
that's the only way. Go
yes,
ahead.
most important. Yes, no, to just to tailgate what you were saying, coming out among them psychologically first and
Mhm.
foremost and spiritually. And
Yes.
I do think that there are people that I know love the Most High and they're just not quite there yet. It's like they know, but they're not quite certain what
Mhm.
is this, and they're still like, it's been in stages. People have been waking up to some of that in stages, or they
Yeah.
know and they're still very staunch. I feel like I've been encountering people that I know that are kind of all across the board still. They're just
Mhm.
not sure what that totally means, or you know,
Research, research, research is your friend.
yeah, and some of these people are elders, what I would consider elders, and that's just all too much thinking for them. It's
Yeah.
too
Oh
overwhelming.
God, that's too much because a lot of them can't even get on the computer to do research of anything.
I
But my
know, I know,
goodness,
I know.
you have to listen and you can't be so, well, this is, so, blinded to where you don't want to hear anything. Is that, see here, I was taught this by my so-and-so, so-and-so, and I'm gonna just stick to that no matter what I see over here. Doesn't matter what I see, I'm gonna continue believing this. Sometimes the Most High will expose you to new information, and it's up to
Yeah,
you to accept that information. But if you reject that information, then that's a seed. That's a seed sown that's not going to grow because you're rejecting the seed. So you have to be very careful. And if somebody exposes you to new information, you have to,
do your
you
own
gotta
research.
do your
Yeah,
own research, and you owe it to yourself. To if
yeah,
somebody tell you, hey, those people that got that land in 1948 is not the true people. It's up to you to go and do your research to see if this is in fact, or is this true or not? Karma,
yeah,
welcome, welcome, welcome. Forecast, welcome. Thank you for joining, you guys. So it's up to you to really make sure that if you whatever information you just heard is it true,
absolutely,
or
absolutely, yeah,
not. Don't sit up there just la 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 la. We want to hear. No, we're not doing that. We are going to investigate to see if it's true or not. Don't sit up there, just
yeah,
close your ears to it. You're doing yourself
yes,
a disservice. Teach your
yeah,
children, educate your own children, even at school, at home. You
hmm,
were talking about doing some homeschooling. Okay, you say you
yeah,
homeschool your child. So I'm sure you taught your children a whole different way. So it's things that they notice that other kids don't know because you
right,
taught them. You were woke, you understood what you needed to teach your children. And I'm
yes,
sure that they think totally different than some of these children that's going to these public schools and allowing enemies to
yeah,
educate them. That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
difference. We have to
yeah,
really understand what's going on and see the bigger
yes,
picture. We owe it to our children to make
right,
sure that we're not putting them in danger, to make sure that they're getting the best education, to make sure that they're not getting indoctrinated with lies. We owe it to
hmm,
our children. And I believe that we have stuck our children in a bad situation for them to have situations like the Carmela
yeah,
Anthony situation. Our children don't deserve that because that's not going to be the only situation. That's not going to
yeah,
be it until you are be separate and learn not. Okay, come from among. You're going to still have your life impacted by certain situations
mhm,
that you don't really
yeah,
need to be in. But if you're out of that situation, not able to date certain different people that I see
yeah,
are dating, which is a whole nother conversation, and we may even touch on that sometime too. We are putting our children in danger every single day,
yeah,
and we don't even understand. We put ourselves in danger, and then we turn around and put our children in the same danger. You give yourself PTSD on their jobs, then you turn around every day and give them your children every day
yeah,
your PTSD,
yeah,
thinking they get a better education, and actually they're not, but you don't know it because you're not
yeah,
there. And then when you are in the situation, you think, oh, everything is good because they're not coming home talking about it every
right,
day, but they're getting used to it because that's how they've been treated. So they don't even know it's wrong.
right, right,
Because I'm
right,
sure that you can
yeah,
get them as babies and
yeah,
you'll think,
you
you'll
know,
think, oh, you're
yeah,
getting your perfect, go ahead.
yes, yes. No, to your point, I'm still on a lot of homeschool groups back in the States, and there are a lot of people pulling their children out that are
Good,
us. They are.
good.
Because I'm still with some groups in North Carolina and all the lots. I mean, I probably every time I look, there's a parent pulling out.
Wow,
So
good. I'm loving that. Yeah.
that's something that I am definitely seeing, and some of them are going, I don't know what to do. How do
Yeah.
I homeschool? They just it's very new, and it is a sacrifice to homeschool. It is very much. I was in a really good position, so um, I had a very supportive spouse,
Yeah.
so uh, and he made sure all the way through. Not everybody has that, and that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of single parents making that sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
to, how do I do this? What do I do? What programs are, they're trying to figure it out, and some people aren't even believers. and they're pulling
Yeah.
their children out left and right.
Yeah. They're feeling it.
Um,
They still
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Believe it
And
or
it's
not, you're
just,
still here. You
and
know?
and some of it's not even about skin color. Some of it's just a poor system that's just
Yeah.
not teaching children. They're just not. Our children are not being educated to read some books and understand things. Some of it's just very poor quality schooling.
Yeah.
And that's really unfortunate. And I know the teachers. I do know some teachers. They have a whole nother side of this, and I
Yeah.
get it. Everybody has
Yeah.
a lens, and
Yeah.
and I feel like it's just all the way around. It's just a poor system, and it's a poor system for teachers. But once you take God the Father out of everything, there you go.
There,
So here
you
we are.
said it. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Once you take him out, you had a whole nother ball game. And
It's
even when
any
we
and
talked about
everything,
it,
any and
yeah,
everything, and do without wilt. And that's what we're witnessing is do without wilt.
yep, right
And
now.
I'm not seeing children here where I'm at wanting to be animals in school. They're not pretending to be. Like what is that? So that's not reality. So
No, I don't know where that came from, but that is right there. It blows my
that's a
mind when you have
yeah,
grown men
no,
that are
that's a
telling me,
spirit. That's a
yeah, that's the
spirit.
spirit. Even when you have
Yeah.
grown men looking at little girls, because they're trying to make pedophilia legal, and you got grown men talking about, oh, she looked at me and and I feel she loves me. She's 2. What the hell are you talking about? I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm saying
Right.
what we doing here? And that's the saddest part about it, that you hear grown men saying this, and then you have people that are not. They're not even outraged about this. They're like, well,
Yeah.
it's a sickness, and no, what are you talking about? What are we doing
Yeah.
here? No,
Yeah.
whatever. It still needs to be dealt with, and it still needs to be criminalized and not made
Yes.
an excuse, to go a whole. But that's a whole nother conversation. With all of that stuff is crazy, But
Yes.
even
Yes.
like you talked about the lack of safety, that's
Yes.
huge. That right there is the biggest part for me. With the
Yes.
lack of safety, we just saw where the little baby was shot by the police. The 1-year-old
Yeah.
was shot
Yeah.
in the car with his mom. And I think back when the Somalian guy shot the white woman who walked into his car. He went to jail, got 12 years.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
back about the 2 officers, it was 2 black officers that shot into a car of an individual white man, young man that was really going toward them with the car.
Uh-huh.
And these 2 officers shot into the car and killed his 6-year-old. Those officers got 20 years. So now I'm looking at this officer who doesn't look like me or you, looks okay.
Yeah.
Totally
Yeah.
different. And they're trying to make an excuse. Well, she stole diapers. Well, that's not, and they always going to make an excuse of why it was okay for him to kill. And it's never okay. He's not the judge, jury, or an executioner. Diapers should never mean death. But my thing is, why
Right.
did she steal those diapers? Are we going to address the elephant in the room with women
Yeah.
losing their jobs? And are we going to face the elephant in the room of lack of child support and lack of fathers in the home and the lack of, just all kind of stuff. And the system,
Yes.
let's talk about the
Yes.
system, that the setup of the system that I see systems aren't even hiring black women or black men. I worked at a company and I saw that where they were starting not to even hire black men,
Yeah.
and we were talking about black men with degrees that had gotten
Yeah.
laid off of working banks, had degrees, had experience. And I saw them where they hired an Indian boy who had no experience, just got out of school. Okay. But we're talking about men with degrees, with experience. Okay. So
Yeah.
what are we doing here? So I've seen that. So I understand. So
Yeah.
now we have
Yeah.
to face that. What's going on to where she had no money to buy her baby diapers? What was social services and all this? Was she getting aid? What was going on? So we got to really dig into these issues when we see
Yeah.
this happen, not just to make an excuse. Well, she was ramming her, she stole diapers. Okay, but what are we saying? Was it okay to kill her because she stole diapers? Give me a break. You
Yeah.
always hear the conversation when they look like us. It's always an
Yeah.
excuse. It was okay, but it's never to where I see them doing that to the other.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
an issue
Yes.
right there.
Yes.
It's safety is everything
Yeah.
right here, and that
I
to me
think
is why I left. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, no, I completely hear you. And when I'm in these groups, there's a lot of young moms. I'm in my 50s, and a lot of these women are in their 20s and 30s, and there are some 40s too, but that's also, and that's a whole nother subject matter. But we've also dropped the ball with some things too, with our own people, because a lot of our moms are single and
Yes.
still continuing, and it, to me, it's not even social demographics. Some of these women, a good number of them are educated.
Yeah.
So it's not really about that. It's really cultural that we have to deal with that. And, but some of these women that I'm seeing in the group, they're losing their jobs, and they are educated women. Some of them are trying to start their own businesses, and really, like, this is really hard, but and I get it. And it's not a blame situation. It's just that
Mhm.
it's such a deep rooted thing, but that still goes
Yeah.
back to the diaper piece. What you were saying, it's not an excuse.
Yeah.
We need to address these things. How do we do this? How do we come together as a community? And I just don't think we can do it without the power of the Most High.
Right. And I do see him
Because
working
it's
even
too,
in that. I do see him working even in
yes,
that.
me
You know,
too.
as
Me
far as
too.
the different cultures now we're delineating. Now we are supporting, and we are
Yeah.
supporting owning our own business, which is what we need to do in
Yes.
the first place.
Yes.
It's not about hating anybody. It's just about us. You know, we've made everybody else rich. Even here in Africa, everybody comes to Africa, they leave rich except Africans. Okay, now
Yeah.
it's time for us to make us rich. It's time for us to pour into us, pour into our own, to support our own. It's time for that, and then people are
Yeah.
used to that. So it's like, well, why are you doing that now? Well, why we should have been doing it. We should have trained you a
Yeah.
long time ago that we're just as important. And yes, we have to support our own sometimes too. So
Yes.
that's a
Yes.
big deal. That's a big part of it for me. So
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. And I have a heart for moms in transition. Part of what I do with ministry, and just I'm very sensitive to some of these, issues with being a single mom, and the hardships of that, and the complexities, and just fathers in general, no matter what tribe you're from, not stepping to the plate like they should,
Yeah. Yeah.
and making it. 'Cause I do know parents in other tribes as well that are struggling too, just as
Absolutely.
much, and trying to
Absolutely.
make decisions and do what's best for their children, but still pulling their children out of school as well. They're seeing the downfalls and really wanting more for their babies too.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so, but that's America. And, safety was huge for me too. I did let my son go to a charter school that I was beginning to feel wasn't safe if there was a real situation, whether it
Wow.
be a gun shooter or a natural disaster. I really felt this unsafety. And before I got the direction to come here, I was considering, I think I'm going to pull them out and we're going to go back. I don't know, back to homeschooling, but I don't know what that looks like. But
Mhm.
this is not safe to me. I don't want
Yeah.
to feel like if something happens, my children are being told to go onto a bus and that the school will get them somewhere to safety. That's an absolute no.
Oh
Absolutely
no,
not. And
absolutely
that's
not.
that's that's across America. They call it code 500 or code 300. I know there's two codes.
No.
And the parents are not allowed to come get their children at all. I have witnessed
Okay,
this.
so what does that mean? What's that code mean? Where are you taking
So
them?
so yeah, so what a lot of people don't know is that when you send your child to a public school, when they
Uh-huh.
are at the public school, they become public property. That is
Mm.
the law. A lot of parents don't know that. I was not
Okay.
okay with that. So I've
Yeah.
always homeschooled. So I
Yeah.
didn't know that until I became a behavior technician, and I started working I helped in the school with some students in special, some special classes. And the
Uh-huh.
teachers were kind of telling me about these codes and these different things. So that's when I started getting a little squirrely, because I had put my son in a charter school, and
Yeah.
they had said, if we want you to go across the field if a shooter comes in or something like that. And they were giving the children different scenarios. Go
Yeah.
across the field, get on those buses, and then your parents will come get you later. And I was like, no, that's not working for me.
Oh
Absolutely not.
no.
That's my child. I paid for
Yeah.
them. I gave birth to them. That's my property. And
Yeah.
I will be allowed to come get them whenever they want. That is not the school system. You absolutely will not be allowed to get your child. I
Oh
have
wow.
seen this. I have
Crazy.
seen I have seen when situations have occurred, they've locked down schools and parents came, they will not let you have your child. I have seen
Wow.
it.
That
Yep.
is crazy. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Wow.
That's an underhanded backdoor thing
Yeah.
that a
Yeah.
lot of parents don't know about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to your
Wow.
point about safety. So I was already thinking about how can I need my son home, because if something happens, that's where he needs to be. I can get home if I'm not
Yeah.
home. but I need
Yeah.
for him to be home, not on some bus somewhere where I can't get to him and I may not
Yes.
ever see him again.
I
So
mean,
no,
if they do to
no,
them like they did to them, immigrant children, a lot of those immigrant children disappeared, and we know where
yeah,
they went. But just like those
yeah,
71 kids that they just found in the sewer, and they said, oh, they got lost, and these are 71 students, young ladies that got
yes,
lost in the
yes,
sewer. No
yeah,
adult, it's something fishy with that. We already know what's going on with that, but they're gonna,
yeah,
word it and say whatever it is they want to say. But we know those 71 little girls did not get lost in a sewer. What the heck you
yes,
doing in the sewer? What are you doing even near the
right,
sewer? I don't even know how to, me, myself, I'm a grown woman. I don't even know where a sewer is to go to get underground in the sewer. So that's
you're
some
right.
nefarious other stuff going on there. But
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. And I
that's the
didn't
safety.
mean to rabbit trail into all that. We were just talking about safety and, trusting the Most High
Yeah.
with that. Because it is, I just would highly encourage others to really, if you're getting downwind, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, what are they talking about? Just really do your research.
Yeah.
There is research out there right now,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we should put some plugins for some ministries that touch on it.
Yeah.
TEO, I think I'm saying it right.
Uh-huh.
TEOW
Yeah.
Ministries. Yeah, they
Yeah.
touch on it.
Yeah.
Investigation. He changed it. It used to be two houses of Israel, and he changed it to investigation something. He touches on something.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Steve Darby also touched on that. You look up
Darby,
Stephen.
yes, he was my next person. His old stuff, not the new, where they have new
Oh,
teachings from. No, when he was
yeah.
alive,
Yes. We
all of
talked about,
that. Yes.
yes. We talk about
Um,
all of his, where you see him standing up there talking. They jacked us. A lot of videos that he has before,
yeah.
before his passing. We talk about those.
Yes. Yes.
That
There
those
are
are the
some.
videos that woke me up.
Yes,
So
me
yeah.
too. Me too. And in fact, changed my heart to be open to marriage again and supporting
Mhm.
our men. That was Darby, because I was
Oh,
very closed. I was
okay.
like, absolutely not. And he
So
helped
we can
to
thank Darby, huh?
yes, yes, he gave me a perspective that really touched my heart and gave me a heart for our men. Even though they're in the place that they're at, there's still that tenderness of you could understand historically why we're at where we're
Yeah.
at and having a heart for
Yes.
that. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You could see
And
historically.
he's probably honestly out of all the people I've heard, he's done a phenomenal job
Yes.
of really just hands down. Yeah,
I mean, the
phenomenal job.
revelation that he had, the revelation, just unbelievable stuff that he was talking about 8 years ago is coming to pass now.
He was way
8 years
ahead of his
ago.
time. I
He
started
was.
listening to him back in 2014. That's when I started
Yeah.
slightly
Yeah.
hearing. I was like, "What now? What is this?"
It was
And my
2000. Yeah.
spirit knew that what he was saying was true. And I hadn't done any research, but I knew what he was saying was true.
Yeah. And I started
So,
researching from that. Some of the videos they jacked us, and some of the
yes,
other videos he had on. Oh yeah,
yeah,
I think I overdosed on him. Just watching all of those videos, and I'm like, whoa! It was just so freeing that I kept watching them and kept going back to him and kept. And I'm telling you, and some of the stuff as you saw it to come to pass, you knew
yeah.
that he was the true prophet. That he was the true prophet.
Absolutely. And the way he worded it helped
Yeah,
us to, to stay out the fringes, if you know what I mean,
yeah,
like from wearing
yeah,
fringes and going back to
yeah,
all that,
yeah.
and really explaining why it's important to stay out of that,
Yes, yeah,
So yeah, phenomenal
yeah,
job. Yeah.
yes, yes. And even I think about when we talked about the people who are sold out, and some people won't leave because of things, because of stuff. And I even
Yeah.
think about
Yeah.
a lot of people are so comfortable that they wouldn't
Yes.
dare leave home. They wouldn't dare leave their car. They wouldn't dare leave their children. They wouldn't dare leave anything because they got it so good, and they got savings in the bank, and they're like, why would I uproot? Why would I? Well, think about this. What happens when all of it's gone?
Yeah.
Because we already looking at banks, closing. Okay. What happens if they close and you can't get to your money? Or when
Yeah.
houses aren't selling, or when plane tickets
Hmm.
aren't selling, and
Hmm.
when passports aren't being given out? And what are you going to do then when those doors really close? Now think about Noah, how for years, talk about Celeste, talk about the prophet, Celeste, and she's giving some prophecies, and a lot of our prophecies have come to pass. I think about Noah, if when he was telling the people, he was talking to the people, it started
Yes.
raining, and God slammed those doors shut, and he couldn't even open them. And I was like, thank God that he couldn't open those doors, because Noah would have had everybody killed, because he'd open
Well,
them
of course.
doors.
Yes, of course,
You know.
because of his heart. Yes, and the Master's Voice is another good one to
Yeah.
research. And
Yes.
and this is what I say too, with every single person that every single ministry that we just mentioned, and there's more. There, I don't think we even named all of them.
Oh
Um,
God, no.
Still test the spirit by the spirit and take it to the Lord for yourself and get into His Word for yourself
So yes.
and hear what He is saying to you specifically. Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't want anybody to take my word because I don't want to be in
Oh,
trouble with the Most High.
I need you to do
Don't take
research.
my
Just
word for
like
it.
we did.
Yeah.
We heard it and we were open to it and we did the research. You know, I
Yes.
didn't just hear it and, you know, and just swallowed it. No, heard it, did research,
Yes.
moved on it. Okay. I don't believe
Yes.
that He allows us to stumble on someone by chance. I think if you do stumble on somebody like that, you have to do your own research to understand
Yeah.
what
Yes.
is it true, or and go to Most High for yourself and say, hey, show me what's true. And as I did that, He began to show me stuff that was coming to pass. Boom, 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 boom,
Yes.
boom. And that's
Yes.
my answer.
Yes.
So you have to, tread lightly. We're not telling you to believe anything. You can do research. You've heard we said some things on here. Do your research. Do your research.
Absolutely.
True for us, it's
Absolutely.
not true for you, but do your research to see, you know, what is the book saying for your life? What is it that
Yes.
He wants you to do? How
Yes.
much money you need? We've talked about that in some videos that we've done. How
Yeah.
much money you need, how much money you should have coming to different places, and get on there and do your research to understand where is it that you want to go. What about
Yes.
count? Do you want to go to Costa Rica, Panama? Just don't you sit down and make an educated decision as far as your next step. We're not just telling
Yes.
you get up and move in
Yes.
out the blue. Do some
Right.
planning, save some money, and really do your research. Because
Yes.
this is a big deal. This is not something that you just do overnight. No, it takes
Yes.
planning. It takes understanding. It takes you being mentally ready, because this is first right here. You got to get this ready. This is right here, because you can get here and you could be missing home and thinking about the past or thinking about all this other stuff, and things hit you here and you go, I'm not doing that. I'm going back. And it wasn't even for you to go back. It was just for you to get through some things here, things that you didn't even know you was going to have to go through. But yes, it's a
Right.
big deal when you're abroad. It is a big deal
Yes.
dealing with
Yeah.
embassies and dealing with visas and it's a big deal. But you
Especially if you have a family. Yes. Yeah.
especially, and that's
And
what we need.
and if you
Uh-huh.
have a family and you don't have a covering,
Yeah,
but the Lord is tender to those as well.
yeah,
Ideally,
yeah,
yes, it would be best to have a covering, but if you do not, the Father will cover you the whole way. He will make a way. Yeah.
absolutely. That's what He does. He'll make a way. And even if you have a covering, but sometimes the covering is not hearing, that's still going to be your
That
choice as
that
far
too.
as what you need to do. You
Yes.
have to do what's
Yeah.
best, what you feel is best. If you're smelling smoke, hearing smoke, and seeing the crackling of the smoke and the fire, it's up to you. You can stay, you can leave, or you can do what you need to do what you were told
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to be strictly up to you. We're not saying either way is wrong or right. You just have to do what's best for you. Because I know for
Yes.
me, if I'm smelling smoke and if somebody else is not, you gotta make a choice. You have to
Yeah.
make a choice,
Yeah.
and it's up to you
Yeah.
to make that choice.
Absolutely.
You have to do what's best
Absolutely.
for you.
And
Go
and
ahead.
and really, coming, like you were saying, coming to grips with leaving America, coming to grips that it's a process.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm giving myself grace. I mean, even this morning I was talking to the Father and I said, I know you know where I'm at with everything. And even still, it's okay for me to feel that way. He still
Yeah.
has me covered. He knows. He knew I was going to feel this way or that way, or this was going to
Oh
come up
God,
before it even, and just giving
when he
myself the
told you to
grace and the
come.
mercy. Yeah,
Yeah,
giving myself the grace and the mercy to not feel like
yeah,
someone else or to be someone else or step in
yes,
someone else's path and light,
yeah,
because it is a lot. It is a very serious decision
yes,
and it should not be treaded lightly.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. You have any last words that you want to say before we close out? I know we only went to 1 hour. Don't want to make it too long, but do you have any other
Yes.
last things that you want to add?
I think I kind of just a little bit that, if anyone is seeing this and they just get downwind of it, just do the research. Just go to the Father and ask
Mhm.
him, what are they talking about? If you've never heard about what we're talking about, if you've never heard of the second Exodus, or even if that's not where you're at yet spiritually,
Yeah.
what are they talking about leaving America? Because I know people that have left who are not walking with the Most High, and they still felt led to leave.
And they
Um,
still,
that would be my last words. Just ask the Father and let him speak to you, and just sit with it. Take your time with it, and just let him minister to your spirit. He's faithful, and he'll tell you. He will.
yes, and hear him. If you ask about something, be ready for the answer. And if you're
Yeah.
not, if you hear the answer and you're still not ready, then your next prayer is to get me ready. Show me how
Yeah.
to do this. Put it in my, because I know when I first heard about it, I wasn't planning on leaving. I wasn't. I
Either.
was I had stock food at home, and I had gotten my emergency kit ready, my go bag, and I had everything there. Everything. I had room, everything was set up. I had my little camper, my little medical bag, my little mask, my little everything. I had it all there. My food. I had everything ready in that little room, honey. And then when he
Yes.
said no, I was like, okay, okay, this is for somebody else. It
Yeah.
wasn't even for me. So I left stuff for other people. Hey,
Yes. Yes.
and now I gotta do the same thing here, to plan, and who knows, I'm gonna do it here too. And if he say go to another spot, then I'm gonna do that and plan there too. So I do believe that,
Yes.
it
Yeah.
may not be for you, but Exodus, if you hear, just be ready to make that move. Just be ready and get instructions,
Yes.
step by step instructions, and get with you a Facebook group. Journey with Us was a great journey, a great
Yes.
Facebook, that we joined, on YouTube.
Yes.
It's called Journey with
Yes.
Us, and
Journey
yeah,
and friends.
I learned everything from them. I learned about banking. I learned everything to get me here safely, and some stuff I
Yes.
didn't even think about that I heard about in one of the classes that I went to. And that was
Yes.
the best money that I invested. That was the best class that I've taken to be able to do what needed to be done, so that I wouldn't get stranded or stuck because it was something that I didn't do before I needed to
Yeah.
leave. you know.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I'm telling you, get with your Facebook group, and don't come blinded. Research the place you're going, research the visas, research how much money you're going to need, research if you need to be working or not, research what kind of visa. If you're 60, for here, you 50 and over, you can get your retirement visa. If you're a nomad visa, whether you're working online, or you can get a work visa, you get a school visa. Sometimes you can take one class, get a school visa. I'm just saying, if you have a missionary, you can get a missionary visa. It's so many ways of doing this, but make sure that you do your research, get with a
Yes.
Facebook
Find
group so
out.
you
Yes.
understand
Yes.
which way you need to be going with this.
And
Yes,
which route is best for you, because Mauritius may not be a fit for you, or
right,
Kenya might not be where the Lord's calling you. It may be somewhere else, and so
right.
that's really important to do your
Panama, maybe
research.
Costa Rica, but do your research on that place to find out.
Yeah.
I know Costa Rica's not that hard to get in. Panama's not that hard. So those are two
Yeah.
places I know that's not that hard to get into. So do some
And
research.
Belize, I think, is another good one as well.
Yes, Belize, it's also another good one that I heard about too. So just do your research. What is it going to take? Get in some of these Facebook groups and get educated. Do not leave home and not have enough money to be able to sustain you, especially if you're
Yeah.
not, some of these places you can't get a job. You're going to have to create a business, or you're
Yeah.
going to have to sell some stuff and live off of that until you can get to where you need to be and understand what the need is here. Because I'm gonna tell you what, as you come to Africa, Africa's 20 years behind America. And as you see stuff that needs to be done, you can create it if that's your gift.
Yeah. No, it might
I,
even be more than 20 years.
well,
Some
yeah, well, that
things.
was good. I'm just saying, from what I feel, it's with years, but more. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, a lot of stuff that you can, you have there, you don't have here. This is a great
Right.
place to start ground up. I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah.
Think that
Yeah.
you're stuck there. Moving abroad could be the best thing that the Most High has done in your life ever.
Yeah.
You're so
Yeah.
busy holding on to your
And
life
it
in
could
America,
be,
and
yeah.
you
And
just, he's got to pry your hands off of America.
yes, and even though it requires planning, and God, and the Father will give you the creative thoughts, be open to unconventional.
Yes,
Be
yes,
open to unconventional.
exactly. You be open to anything. You have to be open. I know forecast. He said, "Is the air fresher here?" Yes, to me it is. What do you think about the air?
100,
Everything.
100%. I haven't seen one chemtrail yet.
No, no. Food is better, I think, for me. Food was better, a little more expensive, I think.
Yeah, I
But
don't
yeah,
know that food's cheaper here, just in
no,
my humble opinion.
I don't think
Not
it's cheaper.
really.
Just depending on what you eat. Just depending on what you eat.
Yeah.
What you
Yes, it depends on what you eat, and we eat a little healthier, so it's going to be a little bit more expensive for us.
Yeah.
But no, the air is no, it's wonderful. And in fact, I have not had postnasal drip since I moved here.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So that's a good thing. So that's good to hear. So yeah, everything is nicer, better here. I went into another area and I was telling uh, a, a friend of mine about the area, another area part of town that I went in, and it was
Yeah.
even fresher than here. I think this is where the area that we're in is it's crowded, touristy area, but another area that I went to was, I mean, top notch. The air, the area, it was just,
What
and
area
then
was it?
and this it was past the airport, down there past the airport, and I don't
Oh,
remember
somewhere south. Somewhere south.
yeah, we were south, but
Okay.
I know the internet was not good down there. But I do believe that buying land is cheaper, and that would be a thought. Buying land, I'm getting with some expats and buying some land.
Yeah.
I think that would be a
You
great idea.
definitely, yeah, you would definitely need to get with the group because where the fertile ground is, it is a little expensive. It is.
Yeah, but I'm telling
Just
you,
in
down
doing
there,
my research, yeah.
it was
But if you do it with people, you can do it. You can do it.
yes, yes, you can. It can be done. So like I said, just do your research and come on down and do what you need to do. But Lorraine, thank you for
Yeah,
coming. Thank you
of
for this
course.
conversation. We're gonna have
Always.
another amazing conversation next week. I already got it planned for us.
Oh,
And
yay.
it's hearing the voice of God, making sure that we know the voice. That's gonna be for next week. We're gonna do the
Okay.
same time. 1:30 next week, you guys. I know we were running a little bit behind, but 1:30 next week. Or it was 2 o'clock better. We'll get with you and let me know what's a better time for you. Because we get busy. So we'll see if it's 1:30 or 2. Or we
Yeah.
can see it doesn't matter to me. But I do appreciate your time. If you want
Yeah.
to give your foundation the last, I know it's written up there, but if you want to give any last like programs or whatever,
Yes, of
websites that they
course.
can look up,
Yes.
then go ahead and we're going to end the program with that.
Yes. So my ministries blah, blah, I'm feeling a little tongue tied, is gracefulguidanceministries.com. And I also have a YouTube channel that is still in its infancy, but that's also Graceful Guidance. I write for Substack as well, which is Graceful Guidance GG Letters. I'm doing a lot of covering my move and my feelings and really talking a lot right now about the layers of this transition in my life. So doing a lot of more personal things rather than
Yeah.
focusing on special needs right now.
Mhm.
So I'm doing a lot of that with the
Yeah.
Substack writing and the Graceful Guidance YouTube
Yes,
channel.
they need to go right over there and join Graceful Guidance right now. Go over there and subscribe so you'll know when Lorraine is on, so you guys can, because I'm telling you, the great, great, great conversations, much needed conversations over there, and dealing with a lot of mental health, things that we need to
Yeah.
deal with as far as moving abroad. This is a big
Yeah.
deal, and I don't think people really
Yeah.
understand big of a deal. And that's why we kind of stay
Yeah.
in this subject right now to help you to understand that there's so many areas of moving
Layers.
abroad.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah.
it's layered, man. It's layered to a point where I didn't even understand that it was, that
Very,
some
very complex.
yes,
Yeah.
and you
It
have
is
to be
complex.
able to tune in to where you are in that move and what's really going on with you. So when you
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
hold on, what's that about? What's that about? You can relate it back. Sometimes you can't even relate it back because you didn't even know it existed, didn't even see it before.
Yes.
Then hear it,
Exactly.
sad. But I'm telling you, it's
Yeah.
a big deal moving abroad, you guys. It's not
Yeah.
just, hey, here I am. I do act like that sometimes, but but it is still some layers to moving
Yeah.
abroad. But I flow. I can, I
Yeah.
can be here and go with the flow, honey, and be like, hey, it's all out of here. I've been coming to
Yeah.
Africa,
Yeah. And
for a
that's what I meant about the personalities too. You that is who you are. You're like, hey, I'm living my best life. And I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm living anything. Let me go check it out first. I'm
And I'm
around, I'm that internet googly eyes looking around the side corner, checking out to make sure it's safe first.
where? And I'm like, let's go, let's jump in, let's go, let's swim, let's dive in there. And everybody
Yeah.
else is like, Kathy.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
like,
like, "Yeah,
no,
what's wrong?"
yeah, I'd be like, what's it feel like? Is it warm? Is it safe? You know? Okay, here I
And
come.
I'm just
Yeah.
outgoing. I'm out there enjoying it, and you guys still waiting back there. Kathy, what is it, girl? I'm enjoying it. Don't you see? I'm enjoying it. So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you said, it's
yeah.
about personalities.
Um,
Everybody has a different personality. You know your personality, and you just go with the flow. And it's all about healing right now. We had an
yeah,
amazing time
yeah,
Saturday. A
yeah.
lot of
And
good together. Go ahead.
I want to make it clear too that, even though I have a YouTube channel, I am not a content creator. I do not desire to be a content creator. I desire to just share what the Father has put on my heart wherever He tells me to do that. And I post a lot on Facebook, some of the videos that I do for Graceful Guidance. And I also do the Substack writings. I'm actually more of a writer than I am a speaker.
Okay.
I don't consider myself an orator or anything, but I just want to make that clear because I don't want people to go to my channel and expect, all this wonderful content when it's really just whatever the Father puts on my heart and I speak on it.
And sometimes
Yeah.
that's what's needed. Because if he's
Yeah.
giving it to you, then that means somebody else's heart too that need it. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing. That's a good
Yeah.
thing. But thank you so much. We're going to end here. Thank you for
Yes.
joining. We're going to see you next week between 1:32. But we
Yep.
appreciate everybody that came. Forecast Karma, Willie, thank you for tuning in. And even the ones that's going to tune in after when you guys wake up, because it's only 7 a.m. there in the States. So after you wake up, guys, like and share, and I hope you and guys are enjoying the show. Let's leave some comments. And then that way, if you have something that you want us to talk about, put it in the comments so we'll know and we'll go from there. And that might be a conversation that we have later.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Would love
Lorraine. I appreciate you, girl.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Okay.
And have a good day, you guys. Have a good day. Bye for now.
Bye.